and weren't expected to win too much, but we did win the Essex Cup a couple of times, and that was brilliant. And went to Exeter University, and it was just a different level of rugby. And I thought, wow, this is a new level. All these posh private school boys all coming in, really good guys. But I had to learn very quickly how to play, and I'd never been up in a line-out before. Didn't really know how to scrum, but I had natural ability at running with the ball, and I made the fresh first team. So the first year's first team, I started getting in on the coattails of that, and by the second year, I just started boxing again. I just thought I'd do a bit of boxing for a bit of fitness, and then from there I had an amateur fight at the club, at the uni club, and won in round one. Saw Dave Allen wanted a bit of sparring.
Yeah.
I thought, what an amazing thing that would be. Just say I've sparred Dave Allen, get the picture. Like, it's a bucket list thing. I love Dave Allen growing up, still do now. And
called him up a few times. You know, I've seen a few of your interviews with him.
Yeah.
I know you're proud of saying you.
He was my idol growing up. And I like his authentic way. How he's just no airs and graces, just does what it says on the tin. Sparred Joe Joyce, and then COVID happened.
What's it like sparring Joe Joyce? Because he just looks like granite chin, juggernaut.
Especially when I was sparring him when he was like really coming up and was a real force. He still is a force now. Don't get me wrong. He can still a big old unit, but when he was like in a purple patch fighting Joe Parker and stuff, we're really good friends. Speak to him every day, but we have battered each other seriously, and it's so weird. It's a weird dynamic. We'll be in the Vegas house, all getting ready to spar, talking about conspiracy theories, talking about all this random stuff that guys talk about, and then we're like, right, let's get in the car, let's go. Gets a bit quiet. We all you're getting a bit tense before sparring. You glove up, you put your protection on, put your head guard on, absolutely knock 6 lumps out of each other for 6 rounds, 8 rounds. Then we just go and get a bit of food afterwards like nothing's happened, and we wake up and do it again the next day. But that's why I think we've become good friends, because we've shared that struggle together. And I enjoyed helping him, you know, especially before the Joe Parker fight. He was in unbelievable condition, and to be able to learn off him was amazing.
Yeah. How strong is he?
He is Joe Joyce, one of the strongest and one of the fittest men I've ever met. I remember being on a rowing machine with him, and my heart was in the yellow red zone. This is about 4 years ago, and I was struggling to keep up. He was in the blue zone, and his heart was on about 70 BPM. I was on about 140, 150, just rowing like with no effort whatsoever. It's just genetically, I think he's gifted like that, and the relentless nature of how he fights was unbelievable when I was sparring him, and that makes you a better fighter, you know.
Do you think this is the end of Joe Joyce now?
I don't know if it's the end or not, and I don't like seeing it as the end, because boxing's just one part of your life. It is all your life, but he's still a relatively young man, 38, 39. He can do whatever he wants. He's a formidable force. He could be great in some action films, you know. He'd be amazing.
Good looking as well.
He's got the look. He's got the look. He's very clever and intellectual guy as well. He went to university. He's into his history.
Wow.
He likes going down the rabbit hole with the pyramids and things like that, and learning about the royal family and stuff like that. And you have some interesting conversations, but just a really, really articulate man. And when I first met him, like, he takes a while to warm to people, which I find quite genuine, quite endearing, that he don't just become your mate straight away. And I think that's a good way to be. You build a relationship with people. And once you've got that with him, he's a really good man. And if there's one man I trust on this earth, Joe Joyce is one of them.
Oh, that's nice. Let's talk a little bit about the fight coming up on the in the December card with Usyk versus Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
×2. Was you surprised when Usyk beat Tyson?
Not surprised. I know you said Spencer Fury wasn't surprised either when you had him on, but I wanted Fury to win as the Brit, as a Fury fan.
Yeah.
And I thought at one point, round 6, round 7, he was winning the fight and turning the screw, and then out of nowhere, Usyk he got that unbelievable fitness, and it come probably down to his training and his dedication. Doesn't cut corners, and he just turned the screw and turned the screw and turned the screw, knocked Fury down obviously onto the ropes. So credit to him, and Usyk's a formidable guy, and you can only give him credit, and I think the rematch is going to be amazing.
What mistakes do you think Tyson Fury made in that fight?
I spoke to Jimmy Tibbs about this, legendary trainer, obviously, dad of my trainer, Mark Tibbs. And he said, he looked good, he lost weight, but Not always good to lose weight as a heavyweight. He might have been better off being 19, 20 stone. I don't know what their plan was in the camp. I'm not an expert on their camp. I'm not trying to tell them what to do, but it made sense to me. If you're a big guy, you might not look body beautiful. You never will. And maybe that bit of weight might have helped him. Could have hindered him. Could have made him a bit slower. But sometimes losing weight lowers your punch resistance. You haven't got as much energy. You might look a bit better, but it might just be a little bit of an aesthetic thing rather than an actual fitness thing, you know. Look at there's been some massive guys in the past. George Foreman, when he came back, was a big old unit. Larry Holmes hasn't always been the most ripped guy, you know. You don't have to be completely chiselled or thingy to... You have to be completely chiselled to be a great fighter. Some fighters are naturally like that, but being a bigger guy, sometimes you've got to use that weight, and maybe coming in a stone or two heavier wouldn't have been a bad thing.
What does Tyson need to do differently apart from the weight this time?
That uppercut he used to was throwing was really effective when he was throwing that. I thought that was good. Maybe a little bit less showboating, but that's why we love Tyson Fury, because he is like that. And if he won that fight, we would have been singing his praises, saying he showboated at the same time. But that can all make a difference. That's another 2-3%. Maybe would have helped some energy down the line. But he's the bigger man. He's got to use that as best he can and keep sticking that big jab in his face, whether it's a big hard jab or a sticky little annoying jab, you know. Use that, and then you can blind him with that, and we'll keep bringing that uppercut, because I thought them uppercuts were beautiful he was hitting him with.
It was a shock when Usyk hit him straight
Yeah,
on the face.
but
It just felt like something.
I was gutted.
Even he felt like that. I was like, my heart was going down. It's like watching the England match and they gone down.
know.
You know what I mean? That's how I felt.
I can't believe how he stayed up, Fury. You've got to give him credit for that, and he saw it through, because a big man like that, getting caught like that, and the energy it takes to stay up, he's a fighting man. And we've got to remember he's had 3 fights with Wilder, and Wilder's a shell of what he used to be. And you've got to ask yourself, how much of them fights taken out of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, especially the 3rd fight. That was an all-out war. And as a professional boxer, and especially a heavyweight, you can only have so many wars like that before it catches up with you, you know?
Why?
Wear and tear, big old unit. Human beings aren't designed to smash each other up like that, especially 20 stone guys, 16 stone, 17 stone plus. You can't take severe punishment like that, getting punched on the head. It's not healthy, is it? That's the bottom line, to be getting punched in the head repetitively, especially by the big guys. So you can only go to the well so many times, and Fury's probably only got 1 or 2 more times to do it.
So what do you think of someone like Mike Tyson stepping in the ring again against Jake Paul?
I think it's a farce. I think it's an absolute joke. And it's not happened, and I'm glad it's not happened. Almost 60 years old. I used to like Jake Paul. I used to think, he's doing something quite good, trying to dedicate himself, but I've got no time for it. I think it's all quite rubbish now.
What do you think of that whole scene of influencer boxing, misfits, all of that?
It's not boxing, it's entertainment. Fair play to them. Make their money. That's fantastic, but I don't regard it as boxing. I regard it as sort of wrestling style entertainment. And yeah, it is entertaining. Sometimes you watch it and you think, that's a laugh, but you can never be taken seriously, ever. And that's the danger, though. Like young kids coming through now will look on my TikTok comments. They'll be like, "When you're fighting Jake Paul, you should fight Tommy Fury," and like they don't understand what we have to go through as professional boxers. I know Jake Paul trains really hard, KSI, and fair play to him for making loads and loads of money, and they're great businessmen. But I mean, come on, fighting a 60-year-old nearly Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, I've got no time for that.
How do you think that plays out? Because it is scheduled for November.
I think, well, considering that Mike Tyson had to be taken off a plane, didn't he, for having heart problems, I don't think they should be sanctioned at all, ever. It's wrong.
Who is your favourite boxer of all time?
I've got a few. Lennox Lewis being one of them.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Rocky Marciano. Yeah. Old classic guy. The modern guys, Joshua, Fury, love them two the most.
There's no Tyson in there? Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson, unbelievable. But in terms of my favourites, probably Lennox Lewis, someone like that, Vitaly Klitschko. But Mike Tyson, in his prime, watched him 18, 19, 20 years old, smashing people up who were like 10 years older than him. getting a world title at 20 years old, unbelievable.
Johnny, a big name has just been dropped. Yeah, everyone's talking about Chisora and you.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's just like putting you straight into that
Another
mix
legend.
now. He's like, you know, War Chisora, they call him, don't him? He's like a real veteran. Couldn't believe he beat Joyce.